Good early afternoon. We are live here in Orange Beach, Alabama at the Wharf. I'm Andy Andrews, and you've joined us on the Blue Plate Special. Matt, does this sound right in here? It sounds loud.
Something sounds wrong.
Does it sound okay to you?
Sounds great to me.
What about to you guys? Everything sound right? It just sounds loud. I don't know why it sounds so loud. I sound so loud to myself. And, you know, that just won't ever do. We're glad you're here. This is going to be a fun show today. We got a very fun show. Hey, if you're joining us for the first time on Facebook, you might be nervous to share what we do, but don't be nervous. Go ahead. Share it to everybody on Facebook. We won't embarrass you, we promise. And just there's a notification button over there too. So if you're on Facebook, click that notification button and don't forget to turn on the notifications on your phone. And that way, anytime we go live here at the Wisdom Harbor Studios, you will be notified that we are live. And if you're joining us on YouTube, please click that subscribe button. And on Facebook, just share it. Sharing is caring. And you just click that share button and we will go live on your page. And then you'll get blamed for everything we do. We're going to have a fun day. Leo Dutton, hello. How are you doing? I'm from Colleyville, Texas. There's Anjanette, Jim Midoff from Grand Rapids. And, all right, Martin Simmons, you're working on your Top That video. Hopefully next week. I'm looking forward. Marcy Taylor from Washington, Yvonne Palmer, Rob Mitchell. Hey, Cookie Wagner Woods. Oh, Jan Ritter. How you like my shirt? You like this shirt? You know, I think this is a killer quote because you have to think about it just a second, but optimism that's the foundation of courage. You know, if before any courageous act, somebody has to think, I can do this. Or at least has to, run through their mind a little bit. Hi to all the Twitter folks, the Instagram folks. Brian Back, and I hope you're on with us today, the captain of the Twitter team. Jennifer Peters in West Virginia. And Aaron Comer. Hey, bud. Hey, Aaron. I started to say buddy, but you're not a buddy. You're a budette. Edie, hey, what you got cooking? Watching from Fairhope. You know, actually, we don't have anything cooking. We've called for carryout today. Hagen Mac, how are you doing? You know, one of the things that I get asked a lot, Renee Dixon, the pretty girl from junior high school, one of the things I get asked a lot is from people who have read the Notice of Returns. I get asked a lot, is that real? Oh, wait a minute, I gotta stop. Dorothy, seriously? You're in Israel, you're watching this? Dorothy Melvin, watching this from Israel. Dorothy is my dear friend that Dorothy was Joan Rivers' road manager. And so Dorothy and I have kept up through the years and you're in Israel. Oh my gosh. I just stay safe and have a great time. Dorothy, are you wearing one of Cher's sweaters? I always remember this was before I ever met Cher or ever did anything with her. We were flying somewhere one day and Dorothy said, oh, I've got to remember to go to Cher's garage sale this weekend. Now, Cher and Joan Rivers were managed by the same guy named Billy Samuth. And so there was a lot of intermingling. People knew each other and all. And so, hey, Wooey, how are you doing? So anyway, Dorothy said, I got to remember to go to Cher's garage sale. I said, Cher's what? She said, yeah, her garage sales are incredible. So Cher has a garage sale? And Dorothy told me, said that, when Cher goes shopping, if she finds like a sweater that she likes, she'll get it in every color. And sometimes she gets the size she thinks it is and the size above it and the size below it. And so she'll find out which one she likes, and that's the one she wears, but all the rest just like stay in the wrapping. And so she's, and this was, 25 years ago. And Dorothy said, and so think about this. She said, these $200 sweaters, this was 25 years ago. She said, Cher has these $200 sweaters out there on a table in her garage, and she sells them like for $10 a piece. She doesn't have any idea how much she paid for them anyway. And so I go stock up on my clothes when Cher has a garage sale. I always thought that was so funny. Mike Jakubic, how are you doing, buddy? I hope you're feeling better. Kevin Perkins, old man. Hey, kind of sad today. We lost a friend of ours, Scott Carley, who was just a big part of our growing up. Scott passed away. He was killed in an accident. So, Dorothy Melvin, I miss you too. You moved there? You moved to Israel? Oh my gosh. So, are we probably not going to get together this weekend or anything? But oh my gosh. Anyway, all right, well, shalom. And Dorothy says, back up. Dorothy says Cher would have tens of the same items. Oh, Dorothy, we got to talk. We got to talk, even though now it'll cost a lot more since you moved to Israel. So anyway, one of the things that people ask me all the time about the notice of returns, and hey, Sandra from Searcy, Arkansas, home of Harding University, where they ate their mascot. People who have read the notice of returns ask me if it's real, if there really is such a thing as a what do you call those things? Jubilees. Is a jubilee real? Yes, they are. And this is the only place in the world. There's been a couple in Tokyo Bay, but year after year after year after year, for as long as anybody can, as long as history goes back, on the eastern shore of Mobile Bay, they have what's called a jubilee, and it happens several times a year. It's always in late summer on a still night, and it's always between 2 and 5 in the morning. And fish just come to the edge, and it's flounder and stingrays and crabs and shrimp and whiting, and they're just kind of stunned. I mean, they're not so sluggish that you pick them up with your hands, because they kind of wiggle out of your hands a little bit, but you can, people gig them, scoop them in nets, and people go away with barrelfuls. And so it's just, and this has been going on forever. And for a long time, they would ring a bell. If somebody found one, they'd ring a bell and all the residents would come out. But I have a picture of one that I thought the people who wonder if this is real would like to see. I did not take this picture. Unfortunately, I have never been present for one. But that's what a jubilee looks like. That's just a close-up picture. And this, it'll cover from, usually from 100 yards to 200 or 300 yards of this fish coming up. So it's just crazy. Hey, Irene Robinson from Louisiana. Irene Robinson. And I cannot remember the quote that Adam told me about Louisiana. I was trying to remember. I was going to come up with it. Oh, come in, Adam. Can you come in here? Just tell me. I'm going to get him to tell me at the door. Then I'll act like I remembered it. Okay. All right. So, or no, wait. Just come here. Just kind of whisper it in my ear. Adam, come here. Tell me this. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So just act like that. I've just kind of thought of it on the moment. Hey, Gene McDonald, how are you? Okay, here we go. So Irene Robinson from Louisiana. Yeah, Louisiana. The only state in America that the governor was shot on the Capitol steps, and nobody cared. Nobody cared. It's like, yeah, Huey was shot. Yeah, okay, pass the salt, please. And Louisiana, here's one more for you. The first Special Operations General that I worked for was General Mike Woolley. And Mike was one of 3 boys, and his brother directly younger than him, Mike was very proud of that brother because he was the insurance commissioner for the state of Louisiana. And what he was particularly proud of, Mike's claim to fame for his brother, is that his brother, in a line of 11 insurance commissioners in Louisiana, Mike's brother was the only one who didn't go to prison. Yeah, that's some state you got there, Irene. But they're just right over here. I mean, they come right over here. And we used to have a Sunday school teacher who was a policeman. He was a Gulf Shores policeman. And every Sunday he would come in during the summer and he would tell us how many LSU fans they'd had to put in jail the night before. And we would go, John, how do you know they were LSU fans? And he said, because everybody else we put in jail sits down and shuts up. But they keep singing Tiger Rag and they keep singing, about LSU. And so we always know. Anyway, Louisiana. Probably we in Alabama have a weirder history than you, but since I live here, I'll make fun of you. All right. Today, let me just tell you this real quick before we get into, I got some English language stuff. I just want to just kind of play with you here. But I did want to tell you, the trade is ongoing. Evidently, this is a big one. We started the trade. We're doing this for Youth Reach Gulf Coast, which gets no federal funding, and they do not charge. These are young men that are at risk, and they are between 18 and 22 years old, and their families are not charged for them to go there, and they receive no charge, and we get no federal funding on this, and so we support them. And so we decided here on the Blue Plate Special that starting the first of the year, we were going to trade up all year long. And so we started with a safety pin. That went to 5 acorns. That went to a 3/4 bottle of buck urine. That went on to a shotgun shell, went on to some notes from a songwriter. And we traded all the way up. And now, believe it or not, here we are in the middle of March, and we are at a silver bar that is 100 ounces. And face value right now, the silver price right now, it is $3,150 worth of silver. And we have an active trader that is working on a week-long adventure on the upper Mississippi River, a vacation for a family. And so hopefully we'll have this set by Tuesday. Okay? And so just stay tuned. Unless you got something better and you want to dive in and get the silver bar. But maybe you want to wait for the vacation. I don't know. All right. Let's face it. I am a writer, or at least I like to think I am. I never want to say I'm an author, because an author makes it sound like, I'm an author. It makes it sound like you think you're a big deal. So I usually say, I'm a writer. And being a writer and not being the best writer in my senior English class, it's kind of odd that I would end up being able to write some books, in fact, I wasn't even the best writer in my row in Miss Bergen's class in senior English, because the best writer in my row was a girl named Ethel, who is now a professor of English literature at Ole Miss, and she's a much better writer than I was, and I couldn't even conjugate a sentence. But let me just say, or is it conjugated verb? It's diagram sentence. I think that's what it is. Yes, diagram. We have people in the studio today that are sitting around watching. We're so glad you guys are here. And so I hope this is not like too ridiculous for you. Before you leave the wharf, you need to have your pictures made on the escalator statues we have around. There's marlin statues down there, but we also have escalator statues that, I mean, they're amazing. They're like lifelike and full size. You can stand on them, get your picture taken, and they look just like a real escalator. It's the sculptor, the artist was incredible. All right, so anyway, back to, I couldn't diagram a sentence, but I feel like my excuse is that English is a crazy language. I mean, it's just insane, right? I mean, think about this. There's no egg in eggplant. There ain't no ham in hamburger. Pineapples don't have any pine in them or any apples. English muffins aren't English. French fries aren't French. Now, we take English for granted, but because you're just kind of talking it, but if you explore some of the paradoxes, it's very odd, right? Quicksand is slow. Boxing rings are square. A guinea pig ain't from Guinea, and it isn't a pig. Have you noticed this? Have you noticed writers write and painters paint, but fingers don't fing? Grocers don't gross. Hammers don't ham. And dumpsters don't dumpst. What about plural words? If the plural of tooth is teeth, shouldn't the plural of booth be beef? You got one goose, two geese. So, one moose, two meese. One mouse, two mice means one house, two heis. Think about this. You can make amends, but you can't just make a single amend. If you throw out some odds and ends, but you keep one thing, what is it? Is it an odd or an end? Which one is right to have left? This is insane. If teachers have taught, have preachers praught? If a vegetarian eats vegetables, what does a humanitarian eat? See, this stuff, I don't know if anybody thinks of this stuff, okay, but I mean, it's a wonder anybody is ever able to pass an English class. I mean, whoever created English should have been committed to like an asylum for the verbally insane. I mean, think about this. In what kind of language do people recite at a play, but they play at a recital? And you ship things by transport, but you transport by ship. I mean, only in English do we have noses that run and feet that smell. Have you thought about the things that are so totally opposite, but they're the same thing? I mean, how can like a slim chance and a fat chance is the same, but a wise man and a wise guy are the opposites? I mean, you have to just be amazed at the lunacy of a language that has your house can burn up while it's burning down. Forms are filled out by filling them in. And an alarm, think about an alarm that has gone off can be still going on. But, English was a compilation, right? I mean, this was a piling on through the years. English was like invented by people, not by computers. So I suppose that it reflects the creativity of the human race, which of course is not a race. A race is where you run. And have you ever thought about this? When the stars are out, they are visible. But when the lights are out, they are invisible. And could anybody explain to me why Buick doesn't rhyme with quick? B-U-I-C-K, Q-U-I-C-K. B-U-I-C-K, Q-U-I-C-K. Buick, quick. It doesn't make any sense. Now, there's one word. We're just going to hammer one word to death for you, okay? It's a two-letter word, and it is ridiculously used in the English language. The two-letter word is up. And Mark Lowry, if you're watching today, yes, you have, as you have grown into your skin, you now remind me of the old man in Up. That's who you look like to me. But up is an odd word. It's a two-letter word. And in English, up has more meanings than any other two-letter word there is. It's listed in the dictionary as an adverb, a preposition, an adjective, a noun, and a verb. So it's easy to understand up, meaning up toward the sky or up at the top of the list. But when you awaken in the morning, why do you wake up? At a meeting, why does a topic come up? Why do we speak up? Why are politicians up for election? Why is it up to an assistant to write up a report? We call up our friends. We brighten up a room. We polish up the silverware. We warm up the leftovers and clean up the kitchen. Think about this. We lock up the house and fix up the old car. People stir up trouble, line up for tickets, work up an appetite, and think up excuses. To be dressed is one thing, but to be dressed up is special. Here's kind of a confusing up. If a drain is stopped up, it must be opened up. Matt, have you noticed that we open up the studio every morning and we close it up every night?
I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. So, just ridiculous. Open it up in the morning, close it up at night. All in all, we seem to be pretty mixed up about the word up. To be knowledgeable, though, about all the proper uses of up, look up the word up in the dictionary. In a regular-sized dictionary, up takes up almost a fourth of a page and can add up to about 30 definitions of up of what we've done here. And if you're up to it, you might try building up a list of the many ways up is used. It'll take up a lot of your time, but if you don't give up, you may wind up with 100 or even up to 1,000. So when it rains, it's threatening to rain, we're saying it's clouding up. But when the sun comes out, we say it's clearing up. When it rains, the earth soaks it up. When it doesn't rain for a while, things dry up. Now, obviously, I could go on and on, but I'm going to wrap it up because I think my time is up. Did this one crack you up? Okay, well, don't screw up. Please share this with everybody that you look up on social media. And I say share it or don't. After all, it's up to you. For now, I'll just shut up. All right, hey, we're so glad that people in the studio are here with us today, and I meant to say that my shirt that I love so much is from $Sand Lifestyles, which is like a cornerstone of the wharf down here. And it's an awesome store. They have so many, including this one, but they've got so many different kind of shirts. But the people in the studio are wondering if the escalator statues are real. And yes, they are real statues. They are real statues. But you asked the hotel if they were real? What did they say? I wonder what they said. I bet they didn't even know what you're talking about. Yeah. We've got an elevator statue over here too. It's excellent. So Bonnie Terrio says, is anyone allowed to visit the studio? Well, we do have some restrictions. Let's think up some restrictions, because after all, who wants to be in a place that somebody can't go? There are some people who can't get in, Bonnie.
Can't come if you're stirring up trouble.
Yeah, you can't come if you're stirring up trouble. You got to be up to something, but don't stir up trouble when you come in here. And we're on the second floor, so you just come on up. But yeah, anyone's allowed to visit. We're here. We've got the studio glass thing here and the piece table that you can see, and all out here. It's like kind of an oddball museum, and all the books are autographed out there already, and there's coffee, Just Jones Java, and all kinds of stuff. So we'd love to have you join us. Wesley Collins says, you have cracked me up since the 80s. Wow. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And it was good to see all of you guys today. We'll be doing this again next Tuesday. And so keep up with the trades. You guys have a safe and happy weekend, and appreciated the time with you today. That's Blue Plate Special. Bye-bye.